Yes, so
Okay.
it was my first group exercise.
Okay.
So
What are the calls that you have?
there are all the IAM calls, black
Okay.
keys, all.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. I think Kinjal has joined leadly to the group exercise. Kinjal, you should have joined the group exercise at uh 10:30. Still, you can learn it out.
Yes, sir, I was not able to join the meeting back then.
Okay, no worries. So many people join, right? So try to join the two group exercise that we are going to conduct tomorrow and day
Yeah.
after tomorrow. Because
Okay.
SYMBI interviews are lined up for 4th of this month. Before that, we really need to complete three group exercise minimum. Maximum will conclude as many as possible, but minimum three is the limit. Let me check Aditya is there or not. Okay. First of all, let me share this topic to you. Raghav, is this screen visible to you? Hello?
Uh, yes, Akash.
Yeah.
Now it's
Yeah.
visible.
Over to you.
And Vedant, is there any difficulty in looking at the camera? Matlab, your camera is you're looking at the monitor, I presume, right? And your camera is focused somewhere else. You're on mute.
Yes, so sorry. I'll
Yeah, no
just.
issues. So basically, one thing which I would like to tell you now is that ensure that this doesn't happen during the GE, right? So the first of all, the panel will outright reject you if this happens because fundamentally they will assume that you are, looking at ChatGPT or in something else, right? So please ensure that this doesn't happen. Yeah, Akash, over to you.
Okay. Am I audible to you, Raghav?
Yes, you are, Akash.
Okay.
Yes.
First of all, I'll explain this topic to you very well. Post that, I'll come back to your personalized feedback to you, right? So, topic is you are a board of directors for a struggling hospital in tier 2 city, and the hospital serves mainly urban population as well as population which is closer to the rural area. Now, they are given a grant, and you have to choose at least two of the four projects, and then you have to put your hypothesis. If I was in place of you, right, I would have chose two options. One of them would be upgrading rural outreach and mobile clinic, right? Because if you look at, see, rural India, first of all, we need to understand that do they have basic life needs or not? If you look at in rural part of India, they don't have any preventive cares, they don't have any diagnosis centers. They have to go to tier 1 or tier 2 cities, right? And if they wanted to make some decisions, they have to go to bigger hospitals or bigger cities. A basic, how are you going to implement AI? That is the question, because these people don't have basic things. I work in AI. I know that how difficult is to teach someone AI. Even the business professionals who are working there from past 20 to 30 years, they are struggling to understand AI. It's not that ki chat GPT you copy pasted or something like that. It's just that how you are making machines, how you are making people more efficient, how you are going to increase their productivity. It will take billions dollars to build that ecosystem. I repeat, $1 billion, right? So first question is AI driven diagnostic tool, in my opinion, doesn't make a sense for this group exercise. Second thing is whenever you are going for group exercise, first of all, do one thing is eliminate the options. There was no leader, there was no facilitator into the group exercise. The people who were involved in the group exercise, they just wanted to prove themselves. If someone had followed or someone had moderated the group exercise very well, okay guys, these are the four options which are present there. I feel that we should eliminate the new pediatric ring, because this is where it is catering to very narrow part of India, right? I feel that it is important for us, but as compared to oxygen dialysis, as compared to rural access, this is the thing where we should not focus. Second thing, AI diagnostics. It has definitely a high potential, but if we are implementing AI, we need a lot of samples, lot of data, trained staff which is present there. And if in India or in worldwide, you're planning to implement AI, it is done in phases. And to build AI diagnostic tool, AI into diagnostics, I would say, it will take years. Hospital can't bear that. That's why I'm disregarding these other two topics. Now I'm in for two topics, which is rural, uh, rural outreach, right? Because if we are able to solve the problems of rural India, right, it will be very handy for us. And the oxygen plant which is present there, we have seen so many instances that people, just because of lack of oxygen or not getting that access of that oxygen, they are getting died. This, if you look at in rural India, one of the highest mortality rate is there. 2 out of 10 people get died because of the respiratory illness that is present there. That point has to come into discussion. Second thing is cost. If you do any business, I hail from a business background. The first thing that taught to me is profit, and second thing is how you reduce the cost, right? So if we implement in-house oxygen plant, don't you think so? We don't have to look for external supplies. If you go for any hospital which is present there in many metro city or tier 2 city, there are vendors who can supply their oxygen to hospitals, and they have to be, see, they are charging you 5,000 rupees. The hospital will take 1,000 or 1,500 rupees for that oxygen, but the vendors that are present there, they have to pay a lot. Talk about it. Second thing is cost. If we implement in-house oxygen plant, cost will definitely be reduced, and this is a 24 into 7 availability. Let's say, oh, this is like COVID comes into picture. If you're having oxygen plant, you're already reducing the cost. The next thing is, in India, hospitalization is a very financial statement, I would say, because people have to go to the hospital again and again. It means that the recurring cost is very high. That has to come into discussion. Post that, if the people are focusing towards rural India, if the rural outreach increases, people will definitely focus on. Let's say I got to know that in Chennai itself, uh, there's a hospital who's doing treatment in very less amount of money. I'll focus that hospital as compared to I'll go to Apollo or any hospital if I'm getting the better quality at less cost, right? And then you should have discussed more about it. That guys, if you look at the options which are present there, we need to look for affordability. We need to look for all are the options are available for rural India as well as middle class of the people. And third thing is, with the advent of this technology, like the grant that they given to the hospital, if the footfall is high, chances that government will give more grant, and chances that we can implement technology in terms of our operations. So these are the points that has to come into discussion which are lacked. If guys, first open up your cameras. I don't want these people just come here. If you really wanted to, close down your cameras, I'm upfrontly gonna pay out that money. आप दूसरी जगह जाओ, right? Uh, Individual feedback पे आता हूँ because this is very important for me. Just a second, let me open my next laptop. Yeah. So first guy who started the group exercise was a new guy who came into the group exercise. His name is what's the name of that person? I think Rajdeep. Yeah, Rajdeep. I know it was your first exercise. Due to that, you took almost 25 seconds just to understand what is happening with me. I told you that we have uploaded 14 group exercises on YouTube. Check that how group exercises are happening. Same set of things will happen when it comes to SYMBI. In the first 30 seconds, you need to talk about the problem that is given there and what are the solutions which are present there and a hypothesis behind it. I lack data, fact, figure, number, stats during the group exercise. Rajdeep, buckle it up because tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I really want improvement from his side. Read more about diverse domains. Next thing, Priya came into the discussion. She mentioned about we should focus on AI driven and rural outreach. Priya, amazing articulation, great communication, the way you interpret your thoughts and the way you possess yourself, it's amazing. But what I felt is you you are leader, but your leadership are not honed out. Why? When you are speaking, people has to listen to you. When Vedan was speaking, people stopped. They told that, okay, let me give a shot to this person. That speech, this person is speaking it out something. So you acted as a follower, not a leader. Second thing is the entry that you made. You took out almost 36 seconds. I have to tell you that please stop. So work on that entry. Try to convert the entry into 30 seconds. That's why I'm not giving one more point to you. The first two brownie points are reduced for Vedant as well as Priya. Third person came into the discussion is Aditya. I'm going to give you one brownie point because you directly come to the main part of it. Guys, okay, these are the two things which I'm taking into consideration, AI and rural India. If I talk about AI, this is my hypothesis. If I talk about rural India, we need to focus on suburbs, all these things. XYZ points that you mentioned, amazing. I'm going to give you one point. But Aditya, what I missed is uh, that energy, that enthusiasm which has to come into the main group exercise was not there, right? Uh, Another thing is your listening ability. What I felt out is there were so many gaps where Priya entered, where Devashri entered, the way they portrayed themselves, the way they took the gap, the entry into this 6 to 8 seconds of gap. You're not able to capture it. Right? And second, a third thing that I missed out from here is communication amazing, articulation amazing, but if the content is missing, if the vocabulary is missing, if the relevant points are missing, what I'm going to do with you? Right? You are a great candidate, but आप score नहीं करोगे तो you are not a perfect fit for me, right, Aditya? So work on it. For the first entry, I'm going to give you one brownie point. Then Urvi came into the group exercise. She mentioned about AI is one of the vertical that we should take into consideration, and then rural part. Out of the first four entries that were made by the people, I think Urvi was amazing entry, but Urvi was not able to explain it very well. Urvi, are you there? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Let me give you one more chance to you. If you wanted to start it, right? Let me give you 30 seconds to you again. How are you gonna start it out?
So as a board of directors, we have a fund by the government which is 80 crores. So first I would give it to AI driven diagnostic tools, because as we are going into AI, that the hospital should be updated with the AI technologies. Then second, upgrading rural outreach and mobile clinics, because there are many villages who are not able to access the
Okay.
hospitals,
Wait,
and they have to
stop,
travel to
Urvi.
cities.
Stop. So what I'll tell you is your tone looks very monotonous, right? You would use hand gestures to portray yourself better. Second thing is the voice modulation that you have. Let's say Vedant is speaking, or Kiran is there, or Priya. Just observe their tone modulation, the way they handle
You
the
sound doubtful,
discussions,
Urvi. That's
right?
the point.
She
You
looks
sound very
very
doubtful.
doubtful. That is one of the issue that I faced out, Urvi. You need to little bit comprehensive, Urvi. थोड़ा tone पे काम करो, there has to be high tone, low tone, then there has to be some examples, or you can learn it from Aditya itself, the way he portray himself, right? He'll always start with high tone, then he'll jump to the low tone, and then he'll explain out the examples, then he explain the topic very well, and then he mentions that, okay guys, these are the things that are coming into picture, we should focus on it. This is how you can build out the story, right? So decent point, I would say, but it was not comprehensive for me to give that one brownie point to you. Pratik came into the group exercise. He started with AI, then middle class, rural management. But Pratik, amazing. But Pratik, I'll tell you is the entries that you made. Are you there, Pratik? Yeah. Uh, yeah. First
Yes, sir.
entry was, I would say, average and decent, but you were missing into the whole group exercise. You were not able to portray yourself. First of all, second thing is, I realized that you don't know how to start it. And third thing is, when there was a chaos which was happened there was a gap of 15 to 20 seconds where you have to pick it up or buckle it up. Or there's a guy, Kiran, what he tells to the cohort that, hey guys, give me just 10 seconds, let me complete my point. It shows that this person is going to talk for 15 seconds and we should give a chance to that person. Basic hygiene checks. Learn, be more comprehensive where content was missing, right? In the next G, I need strong content from your side. Um, your points were repeating. You're not able to manage the time. That was one of the biggest issue. So Deepta came into discussion. So Deepta, amazing. I'm going to give you heard a brownie point to you, where you discuss about oxygen and dialysis, then how they are critical, how they are life saving for us, right? So yeah, that was needed for the group exercise. Only 3 people will get the brownie point in SYMBI. So remaining guys, you are already back of it. So you need to buckle it up. Next thing is, when Debesh came into discussion, she mentioned about guys, rural outreach is one of the pointer, and then she started discussing more about it. We need to cater to this category of people. But what I faced also, your entry was only for 18 seconds. I was waiting that you will complete it. Try to complete that entry. If you could have completed that entry, I would have given one brownie point to you. That was missing. Faizan came into the discussion, amazing. But Faizan, what I realized, you spoke more than the entry that was present there. You mentioned about rural India, you mentioned about air diagnostics. It will definitely reduce the toll on doctors which are present there, right? It was decent enough, but you could have stopped it,
Okay.
right? Learn the art of how you're going to stop it. Then Nikhil came into the discussion. He mentioned about productivity, how productivity can be improved, and pediatric training. So Nikhil, if you know that there are folks who are in for all the 3 pointers and you are the only person who is in for pediatric training, you could have explained the topic. Guys, let me come with my point where pediatric training plays a very important role, and then you could have built on it. I lost your point, right? I was not able to again see any more, I would say, further entry from your side. Manan came into discussion. Manan, basic things, pillars, vocabulary, content has to be good. For 18 seconds, there were so many fillers. तो आपको थोड़ा कम्युनिकेशन पे काम करना पड़ेगा मेरे भाई, right? You mentioned about technology adapting, how it is going to adapting, I need to understand. Trupti came into the discussion. She mentioned about rural part of India, then the mobile adoption. Then she mentioned about high rise, low rise. That was good. That was needed for it. But Trupti, what I'll suggest you is, uh, try to add more perspectives into that 30 seconds. 10 seconds का gap ले लो. 2 seconds for breathing. 8 seconds for building that hypothesis. उसके बाद next 10 seconds जो होगे, you should come up with 2 pointers from your side. Guys, I think that AI is one of the pointers that comes to my mind. In second is rural India, where we should look for rural outreaches. Why? Because then within the 5 seconds you should talk about the first pointer. Within 5 seconds you should talk about second pointer. The seconds, this is how you're gonna utilize it. Then Praharsh come into discussion. Praharsh, I really I wanted to know that what has happened into this meet. Why you are not able to explain your point of view? Can you elaborate? You came into the discussion. First entry was decent enough, Prash. But what I felt from your side is you need to push yourself little bit high, right? That hey guys,
Yes.
I really wanted to say something. My point of view is different from the perspectives which are coming there, right?
Yeah.
There has to be some pointers that should come from your side. You're not trying to make 1 or 2 entries into the main group exercise. Maybe this was your first
Yeah.
group exercise, but if you look at the Symbiosis, max 2 entries will get it. They have reduced the duration. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll also plan it out to reduce the duration. In 2 entries of 15 to 20, I would say 40 seconds you are gonna get it. 40 second में कैसे बात करोगी? You need to decide, यार,
Yep.
right? So yeah, this is the insider news that I would like to give you. Yeah, so that main exam पे जाते time you should not think कि I'm getting that 40 seconds or मुझे time नहीं मिला to discuss over the things. It should not happen to you. Then Vedant came into the discussion. He mentioned our oxygen plant, uh, dialysis. Oh, okay, there was a decent point. So this was overall summary from my side when it comes to introduction. Let me pass this baton to Raghav. Raghav, yeah, over to you.
Yes, thank you so much, Akash. So, Akash has literally spoken my heart out as far as, the entire flow of G is concerned. So, first things first, guys, the moment the statement was before you or the case was before you, your only focus should be to disintegrate this case problem into as many bits and pieces as possible. Okay? You belong to the board of directors, which means you have slowly risen up the career ladder, probably, let's say, right from an executive who's taking care of the operational level through managerial level, senior managerial level, and then board of directors, right? So you must be having an entire overview. So when it's been mentioned that you belong to the board of directors, it goes without saying that you literally have a bird's eye view about the hospital that's struggling, right? So it must be running at the back of your mind that whatever point I'm going to make, I need to be having, since I'm from SIOM, I need to be having some operational analysis or some cost benefit analysis that's being done so that my point turns out to be effective, right? So, okay, board of directors for a struggling hospital in a tier 2 city. Tier 2 city is being the keyword, okay? So the hospital serves both urban middle class and vast surrounding rural belt. You received one-time government grant of 80 crores. So it's not like any random investor has invested 80 crores. It's the government itself that's investing, right? So you have to keep that in your mind. And there are 4 projects given. You have to invest them into 2 projects of 40 crores each. So the 4 options were given, and which one would you choose? So so as far as the statements are concerned, that is the options are concerned, you have to continuously try connecting the options with the bits and pieces that you have created. AI-driven diagnostic tools for a tier 2 city, for a struggling hospital in a tier 2 city, would that work? Right, a new pediatric wing for a struggling hospital. So this is an interesting option, a new pediatric wing for a struggling hospital. So if at all, I think Aditya was the one who had, actually mentioned that, we never know. If I was expecting if somebody would say, and thankfully Aditya spoke it out. So I would actually give you a point. So we have to actually take that into consideration as well. A new pediatric wing, but the government is funding 80 crores for a struggling hospital. So what's the correlation? There are only 2 possibilities, right? Either the hospital that's struggling should not have a pediatric wing, or the hospital is specialized in the pediatric wing so much that there has arisen a need to have another pediatric wing. So when you are making a point, if you give this all encompassing perspective, you know, the more references that you get, this is one tip that I would like to give. The point, each and every entry that you make, ensure that your entry, the thought process behind your entry that you make, should encompass the all possible ideas that the people in the GEPI, the GE group can ever think of, so that you get as many references as possible. For example, assume Akash has made such a golden point. Okay, Faizan would say, I would like to add on to Akash point. I would say I would like to add on to Akash point, because Akash has given such a logical, such a practical statement that it has perfectly encapsulated the thought process of all the minds that are in the GE, right? So that's one thing. And yeah, a new pediatric wing, I have spoken about it. And yes, Kiran was going gung-ho about this. This is a government funding. We have to also take care about the society, upgrading rural outreach, brilliant points, and mobile clinics. So if I were there, my suggestions would have been, so I would first of all have put this perspective that uh, there are 2 possibilities for the pediatric wing option to even exist in this case. One, either the struggling hospital should not have a pediatric wing, or the hospital should have been so much specialized in having a pediatric wing that it is literally struggling, and the government has granted 40 crores. The government has considered to have the construction of a new pediatric wing. So after I put this, I would straight away, understand how the GE is flowing. I would straight away, think about the pointers that I get as far as construction of new pediatric wing is concerned. Thereby, I will change my point. So first of all, my first option would never be AI-driven diagnostic tools, because let me be very frank, the AI industry in India is not that specialized. It is in growing. It is really growing fast, but it is not that advanced to actually aid in doctors in making diagnosis. So definitely, we can't play with people's lives. Each and every person is different. Each and every person's build is different. We definitely can't. This is you have to note it down. We definitely can't allow something, as even though AI can get specialized at some areas, we definitely can't let it uh, you know diagnose patients, because it has miles to go, right? So yeah, process of elimination. Again, if you can't select, at least eliminate. If you can't select, eliminate. That's a rule which you have to note down. If you can't select, eliminate. So eliminate AI-driven diagnostic tools. You have 3 left. Kiran was actually adding this point, brilliant point, that we have to give back to the society. Why didn't anyone zero in on that? It's a government. Come on, if it was an investor, then fine. You can say that the investor might not have an entire 360-degree view of what the hospital is going through, but it's not any random investor who is investing. It's the government itself which is investing, right? So it would have done its due diligence before coming up with having upgrading rural outreach and mobile clinics in the list of investing options. Why didn't any one of you build upon that point? Please understand. And in-house oxygen plant and dialysis center, this is an interesting option, because come on guys, it's been almost 3 to 4, 5 years post COVID, and we still can't hang on to the COVID scenario. Let's be very honest and let's be frank. You have to have some more pointers apart from COVID, and it's a tier 2 city, right? Pollution levels are rising, but are they rising like they are rising in tier 1 cities? You have to also take that into consideration. Think about it. It's a tier 2 city. Tier 2 cities generally have AQI levels below 250, 300, I believe, I presume. So I don't think it's that bad, to live in a tier 2 city. But given that it's actually surrounded by rural belt, these are all the guesstimates that should actually happen in your mind like this. It's a rural belt, lot of greeneries, not that developed. Will there be pollution levels? Think about it, right? So yeah, so if I were there in the GE, probably my two options would have been a new pediatric wing and upgrading rural outreach and mobile clinics, unless and until somebody came up with a brilliant point, supporting in-house oxygen plant and dialysis center. Okay, so now coming on to the personal feedback. Um, Rajdeep, yeah, I can understand that this was your first GE, but fine. Next time, ensure that you are razor sharp when you are present in the GE. You have to. So this is one thing. So the SYMBI GEPIs mostly will be online. So it's always better to have your own stopwatch, whether on your phone or on your watch, near you, so that it's always better to have a track of your time. So you fumbled a bit, Rajdeep, it's fine, but ensure that the next GE that you join, you have to be giving a killer performance, right? So Priya started well. She was really going well, but I think she was referring to her notebook a lot during her first entry alone. You know, so please try avoiding that. Okay, you have to. I see. I understand that the content will be present on the screen for only 3 4 minutes. Just take a screenshot. Why not? Take a screenshot. Nobody's going to know, right? Just take a screenshot, and you can then and there refer to the screenshot, because you can always exploit the surrounding that you are in. This is an online G and not an in-person G, right? So that's one thing which you can do. Aditya, interesting. Your energy level was outstanding, but there were a lot of hand movements here and there. Try controlling it down. I can understand. Your points were really good. And Urvi, and not just Urvi, this is for everyone present in the GE. if at all something is present which has the content of AI in it, just don't say this statement. The statement that since the world is moving towards AI, please don't say this. Please don't say this. Please don't say this. Belonging to a B school, I know how so super generalistic this is. Please don't say this. It's almost 6 7 years since AI is in India, and you come on, trust me, you are going to be in a B school and you can't come up with such generalistic statements. Please try avoiding that. Yeah, I think we started off with that, and yeah, she has to strengthen her points as far as AI is concerned. Pratik was making good points. That's it. That's one good entry that Pratik Jadhav took, and that's it. He went AWOL. I don't know where he went. For the rest of the G, he was not available. So, guys, for example, let's say you took your entry and you're not comfortable taking the next entry when the discussion is left out for open house. Listen to the points that other people make. Nah, what's the harm in it? You know, Again, this is all data for you. Nikhil is making this point. Sudipta is making this point. Manan is making this point. So what else? What else? If he is making this point, if she is making this point, what does it mean? Why is he making this point? Why not that? You can actually think and you can, ruminate on that. Okay, you might, if I were Pratik, let's say I didn't speak out in the open house discussion. I might be having I might be having some points to make, but given that 6 7 people have already made their entries in the open house discussion, I should think the point that I have kept ready, is it redundant to the discussion, or is it adding value to the discussion? If not, let me just wait for 2 more entries, but you have to take an entry. There's no other go, right? And yeah, so Sudipta, she was going well, and I think towards the end, she didn't make that much entries, but fine. Debashri, great entries, but really good entries, and you stopped in the middle. You had wasted almost 5 to 7 seconds during your initial, the stage that was given to you. I don't know why, but try avoiding that. And yeah, as far as now coming to the open house discussion, Deboshi started off. Nice points, oxygen dialysis and rural outreach. Priya, see, that's what Priya added on to
Raghav,
Debashi's point.
I
That's
think
what I want.
Aditya has joined. We'll give a Banton to her. Him, sorry. Over to you, Aditya.
Like, if you want to cover Raghavendra, you can quickly close and then
Yeah, just give me
I'll
2 minutes.
just.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
give me 2
Okay,
minutes.
Raghav.
Yeah. So I'll just, I've noted my points. I'll just go ahead with the serious ones. Okay. So Aditya, to you are actually going for the consensus at the start. Please try avoiding that. Your points were good, but that doesn't give you the, advantage that you go ahead and, aim for the consensus right away. Big no, big no. Okay. So you have to let the GE breathe, you have to let the open house breathe, let it take its shape, understand where the GE goes. There's no wrong, there's no harm in it, right? So, and yeah, Sudipta was interrupting Nikita, and please try avoiding that. And Nikita was, she was actually, she was for AI, and then again, following Aditya, she was triggering the consensus. Please avoid that unless, you have only a minute or a couple of minutes left, right? So, Debashri, I think she was interrupting a lot, I think, so once you have made your point clear, just don't try to reinforce the points that you have already made. It just makes the entire panel look that, you are just, wasting your entry just to reinforce your point, while others might be sacrificing their entries. And yeah, Vedant, like I had already mentioned, ensure that your camera and monitor is aligned. And yeah, what else? Yeah, and Nikhil, Pratik, Manan, Praharsh, Aditi, absolutely zero participation in open house. I don't know why. Please, if you have any concern, please let me know. Guys, you would be rejected straight away. You have to give the evaluators a tough time. Matlab tough time, like Aditya had already mentioned. Folks in SIBM Pune and SCMHRD will kill you. Please be aware of this. That's it. Over to you, Aditya.
Yes, thank you. I'll just keep it brief. So sorry guys, I dropped off because my laptop was getting updated. But the entire point is, guys, I was not happy with the quality of content. Obviously, a lot of points missed out, no business terms used. Okay. See, like there were some of you who have good communication skills, right? Devoshri, Aditya, like Kiran, also Faizan. Like I am not disappointed by your communication skills, but the point is, you could not maximize your output. Let's put it that way. You know, Kinjal, I know you. I don't know why you didn't, you know, participate much. I was disappointed. A lot of you were completely absent. Matlab, when I was just seeing, going through my notes for each of you, and then like five, six of you did not even speak, like did not even try to speak. Like speaks is other, try to speak. And just tell me why did none of you want to take the leadership points? Right? There are कहते हैं ना हर एक G में you can get those, like we play games and then that +1 drops in, right? So this was that +1 कि कोई participate नहीं कर रहा उसको बुला लो leadership points ले लो. अच्छा कुछ नहीं हो रहा है तो let's see guys, why should we not take that? Let's come to a conclusion. Let's take a vote. Something of that sort, right? Take leadership points, take points for calling someone, and take points when there's too much commotion. Okay, guys, let's one at a time, speak one at a time. None of you tried to take those points, right? So I just feel all of that was missing from you despite having participated. Again, Akash, correct me if I'm wrong. None of them, all of them would have participated in at least one GD, right?
Yes,
This would
most of
not
the
be the first.
I think most of the folks have already done with 3 to 4 Gs. Faizan has done with 2 group exercises. For her first group exercise, 60% of the folks already done with 4 group exercises, 3 to 4.
It's just one check. Like again, I can go on and on about the quality of pointers, but just want to understand what's the problem. मतलब आप लोग बोलोगे नहीं तब तक will not be, because see we can give the feedback कि quality of content poor था, मतलब business words नहीं use हुए थे, you guys didn't cut in, मतलब कोई कहीं जा रहा है कोई कहीं जा रहा है, but what is the problem? Is it that uh, just trying to understand how can we help? Because I personally have my experience of converting SIBM SCMHRD in the first list, and I am willing to share that, but are you guys absorbing it is my question. Because ये जी देख के तो I don't feel like any of you has absorbed it. I'm sorry to say. It's very disappointing. मतलब, what's the point? यार, I had a full day work day. I worked till 7, 8 and उसके बाद फिर हम जी ले रहे हैं, लोगों के questions ले रहे हैं. And I work in a front end strategy consulting role here. So after that, seeing this G is disappointing.
Yeah.
Aditya, you have such good communication skills. मतलब Akash, आप खुद का ask Akash, right? Debashri, so for you, like I have seen you guys talk, right? Fluent communication skills, but आप quality pointers नहीं दोगे तो आप English लेके फिर घर ही जाना और क्या ही करोगे आप,
Right.
है ना? Over to you, Akash, because let's identify instead of giving I don't think feedback देने से, because see, if it's 3 Gs and people are still doing the same thing, then feedback is definitely not working.
Okay, yeah. So guys, I'll tell you one thing. Before coming to tomorrow's group exercise, watch all the group exercise that we have conducted. 10 domains we have covered it out. 10 domains. FMCG, pharma. Today we have focused towards kind of a pharma. Then before that, automobile. Then see, every sector we are trying to cover it. And if I saw the same kind of participant that is going to happen tomorrow, sorry for it. I'm going to pay back that money to you. दिन भर काम करके आके we are putting out our efforts ki we will get to know something interesting, and you guys are disappointing a lot. 18 group, this was group exercise 18. So buckle it up guys, right? And tomorrow join at group exercise. We'll conduct at 10 p.m. around 10:30 p.m. and different topics will be there, same different kind of problem statement that we're going to give you. And if you have any questions, please put it into group, the paid group that is present there. We'll respond to your questions. And that's it from my side, from our team MB Spire. Work on it. जिनका communication अच्छा नहीं है, you have to work on it. People who are good at communication work on the content. Totally true, Raghavendra. So